The mistake most people make is they don't recognize how plastic, in terms of plasticity, the body has. They think that because I moved one way, I'm always going to move that way. Because I had shoulder pain, I'm always going to have it. Because I'm going to have hip pain, I'm always going to have hip pain. It's just not true. Your body has plasticity. Your body has a tremendous amount of opportunity to grow. Take this psychological concept of reframing. You can take an event, whatever the event is. You spent too much money, you dated the wrong person, you did the wrong exercise, you did not exercise enough. You ate the wrong food, you didn't eat the right food, you didn't have enough quiet time, or you had too much quiet time, or you didn't have enough fun in life, or you had too much fun, or insert the blank, you weren't fulfilled at work. Whatever the mistake is psychologically, you could reframe that event and feel differently about it. I ate too much dessert. You know, I deserve to eat that dessert. I work really hard. I don't eat dessert every day. I had it at one time. And you can have two completely different feelings about the same event. Are you with me? Reframe. Problem is, you have a feeling about an event, physiologically. You feel something about these words. Then you reframe it. And you have a different physiological feeling about the same event. Now, let's look at the body. References. When you change the references for a movement, you change how your body experiences that movement. We've all seen somebody do an exercise, and you look at them, and you cringe, and you go, oh, that's gotta hurt. And they might have been doing a sit-up, or a squat, or a lunge, or a bench press, or any of the standard movements you can imagine watching somebody do. You can take that same person and say, you know, when you're exercising and you're doing this sit-up, why don't you try to exhale out, draw your belly button towards your spine, maybe press your feet down into the floor a little bit, maybe we'll even have you pull your heels back some. And then you watch this person do the same movement in their head. The program they run is sit-up. You have sit-up here and a sit-up there. Or a plank here and their hips are down, and you say, okay, pick your hips up, bring your heels over your toes, and you look at their second plank, the first plank and the second plank, same person. Because you gave them different references, it completely changed the event. So instead of reframing it so you have a different feeling, when you change the references for an exercise, you change how the exercise looks and you change how the exercise feels. When I'm working with a client or a student, I'm teaching them how to put pressure on the inside of their foot during an exercise. That changes how their knee moves, how their hip moves, potentially how their spine moves, all from one reference. Because they're co-activating. They're doing two things at once. They're maintaining some tension pattern in one part of their body, a motor hold, and then they're creating a motor movement elsewhere. And the two references create a movement that if they just ran the program from within without references, that movement would not look like the picture that I have for them. Here's the point. When you change the references, you change the movement. When you feel like you're broke, but you have a couple $100,000 in savings, if you look at your savings account, you're not so broke. You just don't count that as your money. When you say, oh, I have such an old car, because you save so much money because you don't want to buy a new car, you're referencing what your car looks like versus your savings account. Your references change everything, and the body has an amazing opportunity to change based on its references. So here is my tip, suggestion, and ask of you. What exercise do you normally do that you can start to manipulate some of the variables for the references? If you're benching, can you squeeze your hands together as you push up. When you're doing a pull-up, if you're doing a chin-up, can you pull the bar apart while pulling it down? Then you're doing two things, and that changes how your shoulder uses the movement. You're changing the references. If you're a golfer, you're looking down at the ball, really for anybody. If you want a little tip on how to relax, start to look at it with your peripheral vision, not your focal vision. Start to pick up your surroundings, this ambient idea. So for a golfer, I would ask them to see if they were on the green, to see the hole out of the corner of their eye while defocusing down. And what that does is that puts your body in a relaxed state. You can change the way that you're breathing. You can change your whole energy by changing the reference. So use your peripheral vision to change your reference and put your body in a more relaxed state. And ask yourself when you're exercising, what references inside of this exercise can I change to manipulate some of the variables to possibly create a little bit more information for your body, which also feeds back up into your brain. How can you create new learning for your body in order to create new learning for your brain? If you like this video, check out my YouTube, check out my Instagram. If you're signed up for my newsletter, thank you. DominicSessa.com, and we'll talk again soon.